Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I'm Director of Product Development, Will Schick, and I'm here with game developer, Michael Plummer.
Hey, everybody.
So today, as announced on our social medias by BK, we're going to be going over some of the preview events that are going to be happening for the Star Wars games, both Star Wars Legion and Star Wars X-Wing, at Adepticon coming up in, soon.
Few weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks, something like that. We, as Atomic Mass Games, are obviously not going officially, primarily due to COVID and some just the desire to make sure that staff is completely safe and everything else. But we definitely wanted to make sure that we put all the support we were going to into the show. Adepticon, amazing people. And we have some great groups that are volunteering to run everything there for us. So you won't even miss a beat. And we're going to be showing off some of the stuff from the Star Wars side that you're going to get a chance to have the first dibs on. Both of these kits are going to be coming out to stores later, so they're going to be available at your LGS. So if you're not going to make it to Adepticon for whatever reason, you will have an opportunity to be able to grab one of these play sets for Legion or X-Wing at your local game store, maybe play some games with your local community, all of that good stuff. So don't worry about that. All of that stuff will still be available. But if you do go to Adepticon, you're going to be able to get it first, and that's going to be pretty cool.
And they're a lot of fun. They're really cool. I think people are going to be really excited to see what we've got here.
Mm-hmm. And as we also go through that stuff, we're going to be painting today as well. I have some ARC Troopers that I'm going to be working on. We're going to talk a little bit about the last battle force for Star Wars Legion as well, which is the 501st Clone Trooper Legion. So we've got some teasers and some spoilers to give away about that one. We've already talked about the other three in previous paint streams. So we're going to work a little bit on that, and we're just going to get going on. So
I'm going to paint this C-3PO to add to my Rebels.
You did. You brought a C-3PO.
I did.
Just because you were like, I don't know if I have enough stuff to do for the...
Yeah, I might as well paint something.
Might as well paint something. All right, well, let's get in and do it. So here we go. We have anything going on here?
Any questions yet?
No, not yet. All right, so let's just dive in and do it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I got to turn on my light. It's so dark. Turn on. There we go. That should make it better. And if not, Summer will come to the rescue. All right. So why don't you just give us an overview of the two kits, just really quick.
Yeah,
let's talk a little bit about the idea and stuff.
So there's going to be two events happening at Adepticon, one for Star Wars Legion and one for Star Wars X-Wing, that are going to focus on an organized play kit that we've created so that you have new and different ways to play all your favorite games at your home table, at the store, wherever it is that you play games. And both of these kind of take the game and put it on its head a little bit. You're going to play a little bit differently than you normally would. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Unnatural Resources, which is an organized play kit for Star Wars Legion. This puts you into a place where your armies are fighting on a planet that has an old manufacturing facility, and there is some precious gas that is still vented through it. And so your troops need to get near the gas vents and begin siphoning the fuel so that they can take those resources back to command. But there is, of course, a Dianoga wandering around in the swamps.
I like how you say, of course. Like this is...
Yeah, of course. I mean, did you see A New Hope? There is, of course, a Dianoga in the garbage chute. So there is, of course, a Dianoga in the swamp. And this Dianoga can roam around the battlefield and lash out with its tentacles and pull in troopers and do all sorts of crazy mayhem stuff that's going to put a wrench in your plans. And when you go and play this event, you are going to receive this lovely token sheet.
Oh, flip the cameras. We have the stuff.
It's coming.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
You'll receive this lovely token sheet. It comes with a Dianoga token, which will represent the Dianoga on the battlefield, and then some objective tokens with full art that are specifically for this scenario. There is also an scenario card, and this is going to give you all of the rules that you need to play this scenario with your friends at home or at the convention. It has a map on one side, and all of your special rules are on the other side. And of course, we have our promotional Force Push card from Mini Stravaganza last year. And I'm not sure if this is on the camera. There it is.
Oh, there you go.
And this showcases, the lights are shining on it, Anakin Skywalker. I'm so bad at this. Summer's giving me direction.
Because you're running off a delay. Watch this. I can make this easier, though.
Oh.
You just turn this.
Oh, Schick's a genius.
Now you can
there
see,
we go.
Now you can see.
So we have this Force Push promotional card. It has Anakin Skywalker pushing Asajj Ventress. I love this. I think it's great. So you are going to walk away with the token sheet and the card, so you'll be able to take the token sheet and the scenario card, and you'll be able to play this back in your FLGS after Adepticon with any of your friends that weren't able to make it to the show, so that everybody can have all the fun. Really excited about that one.
All the fun. No, don't go to the next one yet. We got a long stream to go.
I thought you said cover them.
You can
all right, we'll talk about the other one later.
Yeah,
I'm going to paint some.
I mean, you could talk in like general concepts. I mean, you were the brainchild behind Unnatural Resources. So I mean, you could talk a little bit about like what the inspiration was, where things came about. Somebody in the chat asked about how I primed the ARC Trooper. It's the same way we prime pretty much everything we do on stream. So it was just a dark gray Vallejo primer base coat with an airbrush, and then hit it with a light gray Vallejo primer over the top. Pretty heavy because obviously clone troopers are typically white, although I just got done with a vacation in Mesa, Arizona. So I was like, I'm going to paint something brown today because that's all I've really saw. I saw a lot of different really cool shades of brown. And then of course there's the green of the cactus. So maybe we'll give this little ARC Trooper like some green squad markings or something. But yeah, I saw so many unique and interesting shades of brown. I was like, I'm going brown today.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's always fun to paint a new color.
That's the way it works.
Well, Unnatural Resources kind of came about, just wanted to have a scenario with some kind of fun, wacky wrench in the works. Star Wars Legion is a very calculated game. It's very tactical, and it's a lot about positioning and putting yourselves in cover, making sure that your forces survive to the end of the game. And I wanted to throw something in there that was going to mess with that play pattern, something a little bit unpredictable, or a way that you could, gain an advantage against your opponent when you take control of the Dianoga and use it to, push yourself forward. So something that is, very different than a standard game of Legion. It's not necessarily going to be 100% balanced. Sometimes the Dianoga is going to, do something wacky, and you're going to have a great story to tell your friends in the future. And it's also very objective focused. It's very much about taking ground, positioning your troops at the objectives, scoring points, and taking the victory. So really just wanted to give players a reason to move around the table and maybe not hunker down quite as much as they are used to, and use some of the maneuverability, maybe get some new units on the table, try something different. Mm-hmm.
And I remember this in one of the early playtest versions, but it might have gone away because it was so long ago. Don't the gas vents that you have to control give cover?
Yeah, so the gas vents are spewing out smoke. So as long as you're near the objective, if you are scoring, you will have cover anyway. Mm-hmm. So it will be it puts the focus really on the objective points more so than on the terrain that surrounds them. So you can use that as you close in, but eventually once you go in to secure those points, and in this scenario, you're going to want to sit on those points because it scores every turn. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get caught out because you're not in cover.
Right. Yeah, because this one works similar to like a race. I know you talked about how getting to the end of the game in most Legion scenarios is important because scoring typically happens at either set points or more often than not at the end of the game.
Yep.
This one, though, because you're scoring every round, basically, you kind of have to play a little more aggressively on the scenario itself if you don't want to get left in the dust.
Yeah, you want to jump in and start scoring points early. Take that ground, hold your position, and stop the enemy.
There's a lot of questions in the chat about how the Dianoga exactly works. Is it an allied character? Can Yoda use the Force on it to help it out? Who takes control of it when? That kind of stuff.
It is neither friendly nor enemy nor allied. It is it's its own Dianoga.
Just an agent of chaos.
Just marching to the beat of its own drum. So you won't be able to use any of your abilities that are going to, affect allied or friendly. It's it is an agent of chaos, just like you said. You do get to control it, and there is a mechanic for who controls it and when, which you can all find out when you go to play. I don't want to give away all the excitement, but it's a blast. It's very different. It's very wild, and I think it's just going to be a nice change of pace. It's always fun to play your games in a different way and get to use all your miniatures and have a laugh, and I think that... I think there's nothing funnier than thinking about my troopers being pulled underwater by a Dianoga while they're just trying to do their job.
Poor Jim.
Poor Jim.
Poor Jim. He didn't even have a chance. He just tried. He tried too hard.
Yeah.
Does this pave the way for a Rancor? I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
Could be crazy. But yes, the Bob Fett 13. These organized play kits that we're talking about are going to be available first as kind of a special preview for folks who go to Adepticon. But then after Adepticon, they're going to be available for your LGS to order. So you'll be able to get those kits and then play with your local communities, and it's the same deal there. When you sign up and you go into play, you get all of the game materials you need for the scenario. Then you get to keep all of those game materials for yourself. And that gives you kind of this really cool alternate game mode that you can throw out with your friends at any point.
Anytime you want.
Anytime you want. You didn't miss the Adepticon talk because we're doing it like right now.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it.
We'll be talking about Adepticon for a while now. So, how does the HQ look for the 501st clones? Well, your HQ choices are Anakin Skywalker. Mm-hmm. You can take Clone Captain Rex, or you can just take a generic clone commander. So you have 3 choices, and of course, like every Legion Force Org currently, you do have to take one commander. So you'll be running one of those. And then we kind of touched about this a little bit previously, but like one of the really interesting things about the 501st Battle Force is we really wanted to kind of lean into the way we see the clones during the Umbara arc from the Clone Wars show, and get this idea of this very like mixed force approach. So rather than requiring, I'm not sure if I like this. Rather than requiring you to take, the general, like take a lot of cores and then build around that, the 501st flips that a little bit on its head, where it requires you to take one command choice. There are no operatives in it. You have to take one core, one special forces, and one support. So you start just list building immediately with this pretty wide range of different troop types.
You get some really nice army variety in there from it too.
You do. Well, and then from there, once you've taken your one of each choice, basically, you can take a maximum of 4 core choices and a maximum of 4 special forces choices. So you can kind of build out in a couple different ways. If you want to really focus on ARC troopers and the more like special force focused kind of things, you can do that. It is probably important to note that in this Battle Force specifically, there's a rule that says that you can only take normal ARC trooper units, so you can't spam a ton of strike forces. Mm-hmm. But there's a Battle Force benefit that basically says for every normal unit of ARC troopers you can take 1 strike force unit. So the max you can ever have is 2 ARC trooper units, 2 strike forces.
Yep.
And that was done not only to make sure that the theme and kind of flavor of what we wanted out of the Battle Force was there, and changing the Force Org in some ways didn't imbalance the list in general because of the power of strike forces to be able to kind of like bully activation, but also so that you had some flexibility with list building, because clones are very expensive. They are some of the top tier fighters in Star Wars, so they kind of pay a points premium for that. And having the flexibility of like the cheaper cost strike forces to bulk your activation counts up was really important as well. So that was kind of like the iterations that went through during playtest of the Force. That was a big one. Was we started with, we didn't want strike teams to really be included because we knew that the change in Force Org and stuff was going to kind of directly affect their impact on the game in a way that we didn't want. And then we went through several iterations where we kind of messed with the organization chart, and eventually we wound up with where we landed, which is strike teams are available, but you have to take normal ARC trooper units first, and you're limited in your approach in that way. So
makes me really excited that I decided to paint my clones as the 501st.
See, there you go. You're already ready to go.
Yeah, so. I'm on my way.
all ready to go. No, there are no Wookiees in the 501st. No Wookiees there.
That's a rumor.
Is it a rumor?
That there's a Wookiee in the 501st.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never heard this rumor before.
Neither have I, but it is one now.
Oh, yeah. There's just one solitary Wookiee. That's all there is to it. Yeah, no Wookiees. The only heavy option that you have in the Force is the LAT LE. So it is certainly restrictive, like all battle forces are. And then, similar to all the other battle forces that we've talked about as well, if you decide to play the 501st Battle Force, not only do you get the unique Force organization chart with its limited selection of unit options, you also get access to 3 unique command cards that are only for the 501st.
Mm-hmm.
So you can utilize those to have your playstyle built around and to gain some benefits. I think one of the coolest features of those unique command cards is the one pip card for the Battle Force.
Oh, yeah.
When you're building your command hand, it actually counts as a 2 pip.
Yeah.
So you can have 3 1 pips in your command hand, and that kind of represents the more elite nature of the 501st and kind of the aggressive and unusual tactics of Anakin Skywalker and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. I like where that card's design kind of came from and what it does to the overall like turn activations and stuff like that throughout the course of the game. It was a very neat design space, and I want to say that I think that was a Pagani idea.
I think so.
When he was working on it, so it's pretty cool to kind of see the command hand explored. We talk a lot about how that's one of our favorite innovations on Legion is the command hand and what it can do to play order and turn and army construction, everything else. And
it's the tactics around when to play what card, when do you save your 1, when do you play your 3 because you don't need to go first.
And so really kind of diving in and messing with that a bit more in some interesting and unique ways has been pretty fun. Let's see. Oh, can you tell them the size of the Dianoga token? Big.
Big? I think it's about 50 millimeters, but
I want to say that's about right. I think it wound up close to 50.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
I
think it's like the same size as a speeder bike base. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Maybe
maybe a little bigger.
Our master controller here can kind of show what's going on here. Well, that's my shoulder just in the shot because I was reaching. But we have the Tauntaun I was working on last time because I forgot to take it with me.
So.
Yeah, get it. Use that right there.
Oh yeah.
Over.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah,
you have the power.
So it's a little bit bigger than the base of a Tauntaun. I don't know what that means, but you heard it here first.
Courtney Corndog. She's in
Courtney
the chat.
Corndog.
In the chat.
Welcome.
Rocking it. All right. Well, why don't we talk about what time? Yeah. Why don't we talk a little bit? Like, give us the talk on. So we've talked about the Legion one.
Yeah.
The preview that you can see there. There is going to be an X-wing special event preview as well, and I want to point out that these are just some of the events that are happening. They're not all the events that are happening. There's obviously several tournaments.
Yep.
And pick up and play tournaments and events and stuff like that. So.
And the World's Open qualifiers.
Yeah.
For Legion.
Those are there as well.
Which are a big deal.
Uh-huh.
But the X-Wing event and the X-Wing kit that we're talking about is called The Droids You're Looking For. And this is actually one of the first things I worked on here. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's really cool. So the kind of the story behind this one is that there's been a recent conflict in the stars, and there is a large debris field. And it's been identified that there are a couple of astromech droids just kind of floating around out in space. And they may have some information on them that would be vital to the war effort. And they can't send in larger ships to go and retrieve them, so they need to send in starfighters, small starfighters that can navigate the wreckage. And so all of those fighters have been retrofitted with a concussion blaster, with the hope being that they can knock the droids through the debris field and into a tractor field so that they can be recovered by the ships. And so this one here has the scenario rules on 3 cards, and then a nice full art back showcasing Chopper. And then you will also get, of course, your token sheet. And this token sheet has the tractor fields that you need and 2 astromech droid markers that you use to play the scenario. And the one thing that you will also need is you use a hyperspace token to play this scenario, but everyone has a hyperspace token. It's in the core set. And then we also have this lovely Sense promotional art card for your extended games, showcasing Yoda. This is one of my favorite pieces of art that I've seen for an X-Wing card in a really long time. I love Yoda, so this is a beautiful card. You can add it to your collection. And so when you come and play this, the token sheet actually has all 4 tractor fields that you need and the 2 astromechs, so this is enough for 2 players to play. So if you play at Adepticon and then take it home, you'll be able to play it with your friends or play it with people at home. You'll have everything you need to put it on the table. And this is just wacky fun. This is a great time. It's very sports-like. When your ships get shot down, they actually come back in from the hyperspace point. This is not a scenario that is about shooting down ships. This is a scenario that is about knocking droids into a tractor field. It's there to have fun and to practice maneuvering around the board and setting yourself up so that you're in the correct range of the objective that you're going after. It plays really quick. You can throw it down. It's a great little side table game. I'm really excited about it. It's a lot of fun. I remember playtesting it and just having a ball, finishing one game and being ready to set up the next one, laughing and hooting and hollering.
It's it definitely captures that fantasy sports ball type feel where you're still going to do quite a bit of damage, and it is beneficial to shoot your opponents and take their ships off the table for a round so that you can open up, like in soccer, if you could just bazooka the goalie.
Yeah. So
why wouldn't
they have to sit in the box for 5 minutes?
Yeah. So
you're onto something. I like that.
I am. I don't think you're going to have a lot of takers, but it really, one of the things we talked about a lot initially and we're kind of looking at is, I think this is a really cool event in 2 ways. One, because it changes and kind of flips some of the standard X-Wing stuff on its head, which lets it be refreshing and kind of different for players who've been playing a long time and maybe just want that different game mode experience, like a little palate cleanser between games that are more standard and normal, scenario games and stuff. But also from a new player perspective, one of the things I like about this a lot is that it really zones in on one of the most important aspects of X-Wing, which is maneuvering. Mm-hmm. And, starting to dial in where your maneuvers take you, because in order to kick the little astromech around the table, you have to land your maneuver within a certain amount of it and all of that stuff. So it is really useful in a lot of ways. There we go.
Yeah, and let's just be honest. Playing competitive tournament games is exhausting. I remember those days and just the brain drain and the, being tired from playing X-Wing for 12 hours. It's nice to have something that you can throw down and get your ships on the table and fly around and do some maneuvers and not stress about it too much. Just have a couple laughs, have a good time. And the components are really nice. Really, really nice. I love the droid art. Yeah.
Preston knocked it out of the park with that stuff.
Totally. Let's see, anybody talking?
I know that if you have younger kids, my boys thought the idea of booting the poor astromech around was the funniest thing that they had seen in forever. And so they had a lot of fun playtesting the scenario and making the little droid screamy noises like you hear R2-D2 do every time he gets fried or shot or something. We do that a lot.
One of the best parts of playing X-Wing is making all the different noises. So if we can add a new noise to the repertoire, I'm here for it. I love making pew pew noises. I was playtesting X-Wing this morning,
Making pew pew noises
across from Durson going pew pew. I can't help it. It's in my DNA.
It makes your dice roll better. People don't believe it, but it's a lot like making computer noises when you're running your computer. Yeah. It always runs better if you do the little clicky click boop boop boop, because then it knows what you want.
Or that modem noise.
Yeah,
I can't make that one,
but nobody knows what that is. We're just too old.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so for those asking, I see that Courtney's right in there answering a lot of questions about will there be more open qualifiers and stuff for this season. There will be. A lot of the worlds and bigger open tournaments, Courtney is working directly with the folks at Central Organized Play at Asmodee to arrange and make sure that they kind of are the folks behind all of the organization and the coordination of those events. But then Courtney is our boots on the ground. She liaisons with them and makes sure that they have everything they need from our side. So it's a joint operation, which is really great because we get to leverage Asmodee's global reach and all of the great stuff that they have available to them. No, I got some black on his head. I'm going to fix it.
Courtney did actually ask me to mention yesterday.
Oh, well, you better do it, man.
I know.
Stop making promises and not following through, Plumber.
I'm following through right now. Courtney wanted me to tell everyone and remind them that the top 4 finishers from the World's Open Qualifiers will earn an invitation to Worlds later this year, including accommodations and flights.
There you go. That seems like...
So if you want to go to Worlds...
Great info.
Make top 4 in those tournaments.
Make top 4, yeah.
Easy as that.
I'm there. I've done it.
You're not allowed to.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it anyway. I don't have that kind of time.
Fair.
I can't even imagine, the amount of effort and preparation and all that stuff that goes into playing at that level.
There's so much dedication.
Yeah, it's amazing. Not for me.
Not anymore. I had my tournament days back in the day, but nowadays I just don't have that kind of time anymore. Life soldiers on.
Will league organizers that are not near game stores be able to get this OP for their local events? You'll need to have somebody with an Asmodee account be able to order it for you, because currently the only way that we have to get kits out to folks outside of working with larger conventions like Adepticon and stuff is through Asmodee distribution. And so, of course, you have to have an Asmodee distribution account to be able to do that stuff. It's certainly something that I'm sure Courtney would love. I know I would love to figure out some additional ways for folks who may not be near an LGS, or simply in different geographical situations to be able to also access these great kits. We put a lot of heart and soul into them, and a lot of our time and energy. We believe really strongly in the values of not just organized play, but also the great things that come when you have little palate cleansers and different game modes, because everybody's got their own ways in which they find the biggest joys in the game. And we obviously have these very large collections that we put together, and being able to utilize them in different ways and
these kits are just fun.
Explore weird ways to have fun with them in addition to the core game is it's really valuable. And we definitely put a lot of impetus on that when we're looking at these kits. It's really easy for any motivated individual to be like, okay, well, I want to run a competitive event. It's like, okay, well, here's the packet, and here's some cool prize support. And whether that's official, whether it's not, there's not a lot of additional consideration and effort. But to go through and create an entire 3-week league that has crazy rules, or to create a new game mode that's X-Wing soccer in space, those kinds of things, there are definitely individuals out there that do amazing work and are creative and want to bring that kind of stuff to their community and do fan-made stuff, but it's a way bigger ask, and you have to have like the individuals who have the passion and the drive to do that. And then, of course, you always get into that weird, like, some people want official stuff. You know, that's they're concerned about balance and thoughts and does it break things and all of that. And that's where we as the game studio really get to come in and do what we do, like what we get our paychecks for.
Literally.
I know. I wasn't even joking.
Yeah, I mean, we love making these because it's a nice way to, you know, step out of our comfort zone with these games. You know, we make so much stuff that fits into the core game, you know, the stuff that you go and you purchase your product at the store, and like any game that you go, you're gonna play this. So when we get the chance to kind of step out the door into this wider world and just mess with things in any way that we can imagine, and of course then rein it back into a place where it's actually fun and somewhat balanced, it's just a really fun exercise to say, what else can we do inside of this sandbox that is the game?
Somebody was asking, 501st cannot take an operative. That is correct.
That's correct.
They do not get an operative slot. So 0 operatives.
They want to see the Legion info card again because I'm bad at screens. So
well, I mean, or are you good at screens because, you know, you're trying to make sure that people still have to go get the set.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah, see?
Cheers.
He wanted it to be blurry so that, you know, you gotta go to the store, you gotta play in the events. You know, there's no free rides here, people. No free rides.
Poor Summer. I put the card by the camera.
She switched it?
Yeah, she switched it. There's nothing
Like,
there.
oh, well, you know, that was a tease. Get him, Summer.
Yeah.
Don't stand for this.
Don't stand for that.
You don't let him get away with this stuff. If you ever get Ahsoka as an operative, you would not be able to use her in this Battle Force unless the Battle Force changes to include Ahsoka, which is definitely something that can happen with Battle Forces as new releases come out and stuff like that. They're not forever set in stone. They can have errata and updates made to them if it's thematic and makes sense. Of course, Ahsoka was, you know, kidnapped and on Bosk Hunter Island for most of the Umbara arc, so depending on how you want to define the timeline with that Battle Force and stuff, it could be different. But yeah, I mean, everything when it comes to living games can be considered alive in some way. Updates will happen that, you know, we believe will make the best game experience possible. And so Ahsoka being part of the 501st, if we want to kind of open up the 501st to be the 501st in a greater form than just the initial kind of Umbara idea that we really played with, is 100% something that could happen. I'm like zoning in, Plumber. If you see a question,
I'm watching.
You dive in,
like a
dive
hawk,
in, because
my chestnut ink is drying, so I have nothing to paint right now.
He's free, folks.
I'm free.
He's free and open.
Let's see. It's just people talking and being excited.
I mean,
oh, did Dallas get donuts? There's the first question that came up since I looked. The answer is no.
No,
he did not.
He brought in donuts the other day, though. I'm sure he talked about that.
Oh, did he?
It was like last week. You weren't here. You didn't come
enough.
in. If you choose not to come into the office, you may not get donuts. That's how it works, Plumber. I'm sorry.
I mean,
stop being so mad about it.
I'll get over it.
Stop the rage.
What is the greatest of all time pizza topping? That has nothing to do with Star Wars Legion. Or X-Wing.
Or X-Wing.
But the answer is cheese.
That's a strong opinion right there.
I mean, it goes on like 90% of pizzas.
Pretty much all pizza.
Yeah.
Is cheese really a topping, though? Because I feel like it's automatic.
Well,
if you're like, I want a pizza.
Except that it's not, because it's only on 90% of pizzas.
Yeah,
so
but
ergo, it's a topping.
I don't know. I feel like it's an ingredient. Oh my gosh.
Now we're getting the flood of pizza questions.
Yeah, so many things have
I'm
flown
sorry,
by.
I did that.
You did do that. I'm just gonna let you. I'm gonna let you deal with you, and I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep painting this little ARC trooper.
No, that's fine. I will. I'll just keep watching for.
Let's see. Someday they'll ask us something that we can answer.
Yeah.
Or that won't be about pizza. Plumber.
I'm sorry.
My gosh.
I really like pizza.
Literally the worst. Will the kits be available to LGSs by Adepticon? I don't believe so. They will be available after, although they might be available for stores to pre-order by then. Mm-hmm. A lot of that is based on logistics and global shipping and stuff like that. Obviously, the OP kits are printed. They're made, but for Adepticon, we specifically had several expedited over to make sure that they'd be available for those events. So, you know, the bulk of the shipments and stuff to all the different DUs and countries will not be, you know, they're not sitting in a warehouse right now, as far as I am aware. So the best thing you can do is just talk to your store owner, let them know, you know, they have interest in the kit and that they just should talk to their representatives about it. And their sales rep will be able to figure it out from there, give them a release date and all that stuff as it's coming.
We got a question about if there are new command cards for Clone Captain Rex and Anakin Skywalker with that Battle Force. We said yes, there are.
Well, not for them specifically. There are 3 new command cards for the 501st Battle Force.
For the Battle Force. Gotcha. I misunderstood the question then.
But there are no new command cards specifically for the characters for those 2 characters. Basically, the idea kind of is that if you play with a Battle Force, now I'm really diving into that Arizona trip. I'm combining purples and greens and just going crazy. I know. We're getting garish here.
You are.
But the idea kind of is with the Battle Force is that, you know, you always have access to those 3 generic command cards that everybody gets in the core set and all that stuff. The Battle Forces provide you kind of, in a way, this is not a perfect metaphor, but they give you alternate generic command cards to use, basically. Mm-hmm. They're not really generic because they're very specific to the Battle Force and they're kind of themed around what the Battle Force wants to do and take into account some of the limitations and stuff that it might have with its more narrow and restrictive force org and unit options and stuff like that. But, you know, the idea being that you're probably not going to play with push in the 501st Battle Force. You're going to play with their 2-pip and then potentially one of the commander cards that you want or one of the other cards. But, you know, who knows? Maybe playing the generic is the right call for what you want to do with it. I doubt it because, you know, command cards are always more exciting and interesting when they give you an additional benefit beyond just you get this many orders and go this point in the turn. Effectively, so kind of in general, anything that we put out for any licensed product always goes through the exact same approval process. Mm-hmm. There's no difference depending on what it is. It's always the same process.
I saw a question a little while ago about a lot of questions about X-Wing rules in the forums and asking when those will get updated with answers. Our rules forums, the moderators are working very hard to get through all those questions. I'm working with them to make sure that those get answered. We are going through those and getting them answered as quickly as possible. So please just be patient. We're real people working with real questions, but they're coming very soon.
So you're not a believer in simulation theory, basically. Everything's real.
No, we are real.
Everything's real.
Everything is
all real.
100% real. Even if it's fake, it's real. It's real fake.
Cool. Well, there you go. Oh, when are you going to crush me on a stream in Legion?
I don't know. Whenever they tell me. And you know, if I can manage to crush you, because last time you decimated me.
It's true.
It was not cute. It was fun, though.
I'm riding high on luck right now when it comes to Legion, I feel like, because so many of those games I've walked into and been like, meh, this is going to be very enjoyable, but I don't have a chance. And then somehow I've walked away untouchable on the streams.
Well, that is
Not so much in playtests.
that's my secret. See, I go into every game expecting to lose and talking loudly about how I will lose, and I try and build that false sense of confidence in my opponent so that I can then go in and win. It works 10% of the time. Yes.
Do you have a World Open Qualifiers kit to talk about?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I think you're supposed to.
Oh, I'm supposed to.
Yeah, but nobody
dear.
gave it to you, so maybe we can locate that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to show it off.
There's some neat stuff in it. I feel like some images have been posted from Gold Squadron, who's running the X-Wing event. I don't know if anybody's posted anything, because we have both, right? We got the Legion one and the X-Wing one he's supposed to show off. Is it just the one? I don't know. I'm just here to paint this ARC Trooper. It's on. That's on. That's all I'm good for. Oh no, we're on our own.
Oh, we're unsupervised.
She's left. It's less about that. It's more like when something like breaks down, then we got to run.
Yeah.
Anything wrong?
What if I start just unplugging things though? Like a true toddler. Just there are cords and I can pull them.
Wow.
Yeah. When are
Sounds
we going to get some
unsafe.
AMG loaded dice? Probably never. Those are only for me.
I mean, I have some, but
Let's see. If we haven't talked about it officially, then there's no way we're going to answer questions about it. So I commended the try, but not happening. So clever.
I mean, if you never ask, the answer is always no.
That's right.
If you do ask, the answer is probably no.
Looking past Adepticon and no open.
Same one.
For anyone who is looking for support for any of their upcoming like big convention shows, or if you're working with Nova or anything like that, I'm sure Courtney or BK can jump in the chat and give you some of the channels that you can use to put in those requests. Courtney Corndog in the chat. Yeah, there you go.
Corndog McGraw.
Right there. She's in there. Courtney is our organized play and event coordinator, so she's your Hucklebee for all of that stuff, and is going to be working on making things bigger and better and more exciting as we move forward. We're very excited to have her along, and I'm happy she's in there to answer all these questions.
That's right. And I'm just excited to see people getting together to play games again. That's so exciting. It's been so long.
So it's a bold new world. That's a lot like the old world.
It is a bold new mood. It is a lot like the old world.
The times before have come again.
Oh, it looks like we found
Something.
oh wow. There's a lot of something.
Sweet.
Which
Thank
one
you.
you want?
He wants all of them, I think.
I'll just start with the top.
Yeah.
There you go.
For the folks asking about Armada stuff as well, there's a big black box of Armada stuff
It's a
too.
gigantic box of
Yeah.
Star Wars X-Wing things
I don't.
we can show off.
Yeah, get in there. Thank you, Dallas.
So it looks like we have this. This is so big. Maybe don't show that because it's not even going to fit on the camera.
Hang on, I got you.
Dallas is going to cameraman for you now.
Yeah.
This stream just got leveled up. My goodness.
So we do have this lovely template tray featuring a Naboo N1 starfighter. Bunch of movement templates in here as well. Some beautiful acrylic tokens. I'm working on it.
I'm just giving you spots.
Gold Squadron is running Star Wars Legion at Adepticon that I know of. I believe that Adepticon itself is running the Star Wars Legion stuff.
It's all in bags.
But if I'm wrong, take it out of the bags, man.
I'm working
it's
on it.
okay.
I'm just saying it's a lot of bags.
Do you need some extra hands? Do I need to stop what I'm doing and handsies?
Looks like we have some damage decks and some promotional cards. Am I okay to break the plastic on these?
Go for it. Why not? Who knows? They can't stop you right now.
That's true.
Only Summer could stop you, and we've already established that she won't. So
So you got some Sunfac, Kylo Ren, promotional cards. Got some, looks like some fancy maneuver dials and ship templates that go along with the cards that have a promotional card. This is not for the same ship, but I'm just kind of picking through this box as we go. So
it's true. You're just digging.
Yeah.
I'll help. Hold on.
Thank you.
There's so many things.
I know there's so many. This is mind blowing.
You should just show them the interior of the box.
Yeah.
Just slide it
There's
over.
one unique.
So this is what we're going through. It's a lot.
Boop. Look at it.
Yeah. So pardon us. So that's the X-Wing stuff. We got 2 more boxes to get into, and
The guy's trying to get one of
Not
those
a ton of
Kylo
time.
Rens from you.
Of course he is.
Of course he
He
is.
can't have one though.
You can't win that.
Yeah, that's not
yeah,
for
you're
you,
not, it's
Pagani.
not eligible.
So all of these things are available from playing in the Adepticon qualifiers, and depending on the level that you hit during the qualifier, you get access to different prize support, just like in Worlds in the past. So your first opportunity to win many of these cool things will be at Adepticon. There will be other qualifiers happening this year as well, and those will get announced as Asmodee Organized Play and our own corn dog, Courtney Downing, figure out and finalize those details.
So for Star Wars Legion, we have some miniatures boxes that have foam inside of them.
I would steal that if I could.
I know.
Would you?
Oh, yeah.
Featuring
Would you
Boba
take this
Fett and Han Solo and
Beautiful
Carbonite.
foam box.
Yeah, I love that box.
Look at this box.
We have the World Championship invites.
If you can win a set of them, you can use them as coasters and really impress your friends.
This looks like maybe a prize for a painting competition of some sort. It has a paintbrush on it.
I can't win those.
Oh.
Nobody here, we've already established.
Yeah,
nobody here can
no
win
one
any of
here
this
can
stuff.
have any of this stuff. It's the saddest day.
You just get to look at it. You get to look at it and dream.
And then some promo cards for Legion.
I mean, let's be honest. If there was only one person in the entire studio who would be a danger to enter any of these events and steal the prizes from other people, it would be Dallas.
It would be Dallas. Yeah.
Nobody else here could come close.
On the painting?
No, just in general, like
On any of it.
tournament-wise, like painting-wise.
That's not true.
I think you could do it. You could train up.
I'm an ace. And a hot shot.
Got.
Oh no.
Card's cool looking.
Yeah, I love that Phase 1 card. We have Cassian Andor,
Let me zoom in.
Iden Verso. Padme Amidala. Says there's a Cad Bane in here. There he is. Cad Bane. All kinds of great Legion promos. Very exciting stuff. Again, as I...
Work on a tripod. It's really hard.
Yeah. Well, you could loosen the bottom, and then you got the whole roll control. No, right here. See that handle right there? Turn that. Loosen it.
Oh,
See, now you can roll it. All right, are we ready to go? How do we choose which cards to make alt art for? Well, so all of these kits were done by Fantasy Flight Games and their OP team for the worlds that were canceled due to COVID. So we're definitely like going back through and utilizing that stuff for this year to make sure that all these amazing materials get out there in the world, and that work is really recognized. So you'll notice that some things like, for example, this invite has a 21 on it because it was for 2021 and those events never occurred. Here, look, 20. Yeah. I'm just messing with Summer now. I'm like, oh, it's on this one. It's on
We'll
this
just,
one.
We'll just keep switching cameras.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I have one more box over here though.
But as far as like all of the other, as far as like how we like to do stuff, Plumber showed off the Sense card that's in the X-Wing event kit. The droid you're looking for. That one was actually picked by the community through our mini extravaganza game events and global campaigns. So we like to pull ideas from all over the place, you know, and give players the opportunity to do stuff. We let our art directors pick things that think would be cool. We let the devs pick cards that they think are really relevant and fun. I don't like that color at all.
These are judge cards.
Oh, this one maybe. Yeah.
These are some of the Star Wars Armada promos that we have.
Yep. So these will be awards given out during the Armada events and open qualifiers. That'll be happening as well at Adepticon, I believe.
So the Gazanti class cruiser. This is all very spread out.
Come on, Plumber. Weren't you prepared for this?
Well, I mean, as we discovered, no. We have some acrylic fence tokens of various different types. They're red on one side, blue on the other. We have the Armada Worlds invites. And there's another promo in here. This one for a GR-75 medium transport for the Rebels. Looks like there's some damage text in here too. Really exciting stuff. All right. Now I have to put this all back in the boxes nicely.
Yeah, you do. You gotta rearrange it all.
Yeah, I gotta rearrange it all.
Some event is gonna get that box, Plumber. Stop making it such a mess.
My apologies in advance to whoever gets this box.
That won't just be special. Just sign something in there, and then they'll know. They'll be like, oh, "We got the golden ticket box. It was the one that was rifled through by Michael J. Plummer's ham fists."
Just give it a good shooka.
Not the collector's edition.
Yeah. Now it's special. Now it's special.
A lot of really cool stuff in these, though.
Yeah, there's some very, very cool awards and prizes, and obviously, as you, the better you do within the tournament itself, the more opportunity you have to grab the next level of prizes. What's wrong?
Somebody said there's no separatist stuff, but we did not show even.
Yeah, I didn't get through everything that's in this Armada box. I'm digging through.
That was not even 1% of what was in the box.
No, there's tons of stuff in here.
So I don't know what's all in there, but there could be separatist stuff.
Plumber can dig.
Yeah, I can dig. I'm digging.
Since it's 2021, I don't.
He's got 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Is it separatist stuff in the Armada, or just separatist stuff in general?
I think they made Armada.
I think they're specifically talking about Armada there.
That'll narrow down sort of what he has to dig through to find it. And if there's not separatist stuff in there currently, you know, the next
one.
Next year's kit will definitely have some.
It actually looks like this one is focused on Rebels in the Empire.
Yeah.
There's this one giant die. I don't know what that's all about, so I was avoiding it.
That's I believe that's that's like the big trophy award.
Oh, this is the big trophy?
Yeah.
All right, well there you go. There's your Armada trophy, 2020.
And it's the same style throughout all the games actually. Every single one of them has a.
Yeah, they had the different icons for the specific.
But yeah,
game
you can
now.
see the 20 here. So this Armada kit is actually from 2020. So the Separatist and Republic stuff wouldn't be in that because that would have been a pretty big spoiler.
These great little speed dials too.
So again, you know, one of the things with COVID and kind of how events were canceled and stuff, we wanted to make sure that these super awesome prize kits had their chance to get out to people's hands.
There's no use just letting them sit in the office.
Well, and there are many of them because it's not like they just made one for one event. There's, they were for all of the qualifiers that were scheduled to happen and then unfortunately didn't due to the pandemic. So there will be plenty of opportunities, I'm sure, throughout the next several years for folks to have their chance of getting some of the things in these kits, not all of them, obviously. You'll have to win a qualifier in order to grab one of those sweet trophies or top level prizes, but
you'd have to have an amazing weekend and probably buy locate or something to win one of everything in each of these boxes.
That would be impressive.
It would be.
Barry Sanders, the famed MLB and NFL player. I think it was Barry Sanders.
See, you can't bring up sports and expect
I'm going
me
to
know, because I don't.
I'm going to. You got Google.
I'm not going to stand here and Google the sports reference you made.
Oh, because you're doing so much other stuff right now.
I'm trying to read.
Somebody
the
in the
screen for other
chat knows. Somebody in the chat knows. They're there for me, where you're not. So rude.
Deion Sanders? Question mark. That's a sports.
No, it wasn't
thing,
Deion Sanders. I think wasn't Deion Sanders. No, Bo. Right, Bo. Bo. Whatever. There was a Nintendo game. Like way back when. I'm dating myself now. There was a Nintendo game that was split because he played both sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, you remember the game, right?
Yeah, I do.
Bo Jackson,
I know
you.
video games.
Thank you. There you go.
Looks like we got about 4 minutes left.
4 minutes. Bo Jackson. See, I knew somebody in the chat would come through.
Chat always comes through.
They do. It's a wide base of knowledge out there. This is what we did before the Googles.
Yeah.
We just talked to people and asked. And magically, answers were given.
Let's see. Will we have scheduled points adjustment for X-Wing? We've talked about this before. We're not going to be scheduling points adjustments and rules changes. We're going to make those changes as they are needed. We don't want to wait 6 months to make a change that needs to happen next week. And we don't want to say that we're going to update something in 6 months and then not need to. So we are going to be monitoring the games always and watching what's happening. And as updates are needed, they will happen.
And as we discussed during kind of our initial talks about 2.5 and everything, I think everyone here highly expects that there will be an update sooner rather than later and all that stuff as we see more of it get played in many more games and in the wild. So
I think that's accurate.
yeah.
Tecmo Bowl, apparently the game you were thinking.
I don't think that, no, Tecmo Bowl was different. Tecmo Bowl was just pure football. I remember that. I don't think that was the Bo Jackson game. I could be wrong, but I distinctly remember Tecmo Bowl, and I remember loving it.
Oh, here's a question about your paint job. The black looks really sweet. Is that just black paint with blue highlights?
It is, yeah, basically. It's Decay Black, and then I'm using some random blue that I pulled. Not that one. Where'd it go? It's Decay Black, and I'm using basically a where did I put it? Mediterranean blue, it looks like, for the highlights. So I'm just doing a little edge highlighting and messing around with it and just doing like those little like spot, a little line here and a little spot or scritches here and stuff, and just messing around, just to give that black a little life. But I want my black to be pretty dull because I got a lot of bright poppy color going on this guy.
It does look great
already. He's very high contrast. He needs some cleanup, but we'll do that later. But overall, like tabletop wise, this guy's ready.
Yeah.
He's ready to go blast some fools. Pew pew.
So quick.
Pew
You're
pew.
so quick.
Pew 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 pew. Bo Jackson, 2 games in 1. See, now BK's in on it. No, you can't be linking that, BK. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing? You got off the rails,
amazing.
man. Off the rails, my friend. Off the rails. For those asking about painting competitions, yes, we're absolutely looking forward to doing more painting competitions. However, it takes many months of planning and work for people to be able to create the masterpieces that we see in painting competitions. So we really wanted to make sure that we had a good runway to just in case I want to buy. I own my own copy. I don't. I don't have that one. I think I rented that one from like the game store back in the day because rentals were a thing because I'm so old.
I'm right there with you. Same team.
Yeah. But the painting competitions, they're going to be coming back. We're really looking at next year as being our big painting competition like year. So be watching for more information. We'll probably talk more about that close to the end of the year. But with everything going on and the uncertainties going around, you know, the start of the year and COVID pandemic, it ebbed, it flowed, it ebbed again. Now it's like we're getting to that place of kind of stability. We wanted to make sure that we weren't like, hey, there's a big painting competition in a month. Good luck. Because this is not realistic. So
yeah, and you want to see those things in person too, right?
I don't know what are you doing? You point. You're just like waving. She's waving at me. She's waving. Okay. Well, I guess I've been cued that it's time for us to say goodbye. So just talk to the camera. Yeah, when I talk to that camera, I'm either saying hello or goodbye. That's it. This camera does not care about anything that happens in between. It's two things. It's the bookend camera, really. I'm getting like the look now. Like, holy cow.
I think we're supposed to wrap it up. I think that's what
so.
that look means.
Well, that's what this hand motion meant.
See, I'm bad at the sign language.
It's like going on. You got to feel it. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this really experimental and crazy stream. Look forward to having you back next week. We'll be back on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific. Otherwise, watch all of the social media channels for all the latest and greatest information. Plenty more stuff to show off and talk about. And until next time, be good to each other, stay safe, and goodbye. I got water everywhere. What happened?
Water everywhere.
Just water all over the place. Clean up these things. Look at this little...